You're very welcome back to the show. Now, if you're planning on getting married, your head is probably melted with all the ideas, from the venues to the bands to invitations and all the other paraphernalia that's associated with the big day. But fear not, one business may have the answer. Wedding Avocado is an online marketplace that is a one-stop shop for anything you may need for your nuptials. They recently featured on Virgin Media's Backing Business TV campaign, and Brianna is with them now for a chat. Brianna.
That's right, Elaine. As we all know, wedding planning and booking vendors can be a certified head melt, but one man says he can change all that, and he's sitting next to me here today. Sean Casey, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. How are you?
Tell me about your business, Wedding Avocado.
Well, it's for engaged couples looking to get married, of course, who are looking for quality wedding suppliers. So in a nutshell, the website is a wedding services marketplace, which is a one-stop shop for booking wedding suppliers. Yeah, what makes us a little bit different from the existing competition is that the users can come onto the platform, they can see prices, they can see availability, and then along with that they can obviously check out videos and reviews, and crucially they can book on the spot with 10% deposit. So yeah. So it's almost like booking.com or Airbnb, but for wedding vendors. Exactly, you hit the nail on the head there. It's exactly the way we tend to describe it to anyone. Because usually if you're looking for, say, a photographer, you have to go onto all their websites individually and get pricing. Now, was this idea born of some personal frustration? Well, the other co-founder is my brother, and he got married 2 years ago, and he had a bit of a nightmare to arrange his wedding suppliers. So he came to me last year with an idea, with an outlined idea, and I jumped straight on it because I'm currently 5 years engaged now. So in fairness, it's a lot of time to plan a wedding. It's a lot of time, but you know, kids, you know, they get in the way, you know. So there's still plenty of time. So it's born out of personal experience of having to search around, not getting what you want. Absolutely. And I believe pricing transparency is a huge issue as well. It's massive, yeah. You know, one of the biggest bits of positive feedback that we get is the customers are elated to see that they can actually see all the prices right there and they can compare them. You know, traditionally there's been a bit of cloak and dagger with some of the suppliers where, you know, you won't get a price until you inquire, as you just said there. But now everything's out in the open, and a great consequence of that is that it's actually starting to bring down prices a little bit. Yeah, does it make it a bit more competitive? Say if one band is up for €500 and the other band's up for 400, does that make the prices kind of coming down in line with each other? Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's just a natural way of the marketplace, and that's, one of our visions was to take the existing marketplace but to bring it into the digital realm. Now, traditionally brides don't even trust their own grooms to plan a wedding, and here's two blokes setting up a wedding company. What makes you guys different? How have you broken the mold? Well, I think it was more kind of systems based, where how can we make it as easy as possible, and at the beginning we were trying to solve every problem there, particularly from the supplier side, because not only did we really take a hard look at how we can improve the process for couples getting married, but because myself and my brother played in wedding bands and for years, and we still on both sides, really. Yeah, exactly. So what we like to tell people is it is in a way a site made by suppliers for suppliers as well. So yeah, it's almost like free advertising, because they've got guaranteed people wanting to book them for their wedding coming to that website. Exactly, and that's the way we've structured the site as well. While the existing competition charges huge amounts of money to just be on the site with no guarantee of any kind of return, our system is very like as you mentioned earlier, the Airbnb model, where it's free to be on, and there's only a platform fee on a transaction basis. And say if someone wants to book, say, a photographer, and they're getting married in Tipperary, they just go on and go, I want a photographer for this time, this date, who can travel. Is it as simple as that? Yeah, essentially the customer journey is you go onto the website, put in the date, location of your wedding, and just say, like you said, you want a photographer, then click search, and only the photographers that are available that day and willing to travel to that location will show up. And then you can of course, sort by, how well reviewed they are, and as you said earlier, the prices as well. So it's a really good experience.
And on a personal level, how are you coping trying to work full-time, run this business, and also you have a new baby at home?
Yeah, 2 days old, baby Ria. Yeah. She was only born around the corner here, actually, right across the road in maternity 2 weeks ago.
So she's a Limerick girl through and through already.
Absolutely, yeah. So I know, look, it's been hectic. You know, my brother is living over in Abu Dhabi and his wife. So it's been hectic, but it's been a fascinating year. You know, trying to take this from an idea to the market in the space of under a year. We're very proud of what we've done now, to be honest. You know.
And what's the take-up rate been like? How many people have signed up?
Well, it's been pretty good. We've now have 265 suppliers signed up. We did a soft launch back in September, October, but really it's kind of live since January. So, but we have 265 suppliers on it. You know, we're by the end of the year, I'd say we'll be the market leaders in choice for any sort of supplier.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
And it is a family business through and through. And now most young people sort of around your age would go off to, say, either Dublin or London, or like your brother to Abu Dhabi. You stayed in Limerick. What's kept you here?
Well, I was up in Dublin for a while, and the move back to Limerick was family related. We wanted to start a family, and we said, we moved from a 4-story apartment to out into the middle of nowhere, so back into the countryside. It's all to have kids. Yeah.
That lifestyle change.
Big time, yeah.
And what would be your advice to anyone looking at setting up a business in, say, a place like Limerick, just anywhere outside of Dublin, outside the Pale?
I would say get in contact with the likes of your local enterprise office. They're a huge asset. You know, shout out to the Leo here, and also the likes of LIT do great starter programs, and there's loads of help. But yeah,
So
Limerick is a serious
stay
help.
local, almost.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's well, Limerick's it's a great spot.
And lastly, what's your advice to couples booking wedding bands? Because you were in a wedding band, what's the one thing couples should avoid doing?
What should they avoid doing?
What song should they avoid?
Look, it's total personal preference. I'm going to take the diplomatic answer here, you know. But look, we have the likes of like a Killers tribute band on our site who are very popular, and people just say, yeah, all about that. But then we have a bit of everything. You know, we have a duo from the north. You know, the country music is very popular up the north, and you know, they're getting loads of gigs. So it's a personal preference, really.
So there really is something for everyone.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me here today. I think I've made my boyfriend a little bit nervous by talking a little bit too much about weddings. We're going to see what Elaine is up to back in the studio.
Thanks for that, Brianna.